Hello, today I'm going to talk to you about Educreations and give you an overview of its features. Educreations is an app available on the iTunes Store for free. It is a canvas that allows you to record your drawings, text, and images and publish them later on through a link that you can email to someone, post on Facebook, or send through Twitter. So let's start off our Educreations app and just take a look and see at some of the features that it has. What you'll notice is a toolbar at the very top of the screen and at the bottom of the screen. Your actual white space area is called your canvas, and this is where you'll actually be drawing. You do have the option of changing colors at the very top, and you can toggle between using your finger or a stylus to draw or write. So I'm going to start off by writing my name with my finger. Or you could also insert text using the iPad keyboard. When I hit the T button, it gives me an option to insert text with the keyboard. So I am a 5th grade bilingual teacher. And one of the things that you can do within the text is you can actually change the color of the font that is showing. You can make the text larger or smaller, and if you need to go back and make changes, you can use these arrows to make changes, to move the cursor and make changes to your text. Being a little tricky there. Once you've inserted your text, you can actually move it around the screen. You can find a space for it. You can move it underneath a drawing. You can move it to the corner, wherever you'd like. The next interesting feature is that it allows you to insert images to your canvas. You can take a picture with your iPad camera, or you can load a previously taken picture or a previously loaded picture from your iPad library. If you have a Dropbox account, you can sync your Dropbox account to your iPad, and it'll actually load pictures that are saved on your Dropbox account. Or you can search for images on the web. So I want to include my alma mater on here, so I'm going to search for the University of North Texas and see if I can find a nice enough logo to put on my canvas. So I'll go with the very top one there. And of course it's a full-size logo, so what I'll do is I'll just pinch it with my fingers the way I would zoom in on an iPad and get it to the size that I want and then move it to where I want to place it. I'm going to be using the screencast to introduce myself to my new students on the first day of school, so I'm going to include a couple of pictures that tell them a little bit about who I am and what I like to do. One of my favorite hobbies is cooking, so I'm going to look for a picture of someone cooking. Now, I'm by no means an executive chef of any reason, but I do like to cook, so let's go with this picture right here, because this shows a couple of different things that are being chopped up, and it looks like a yummy dish is about to be prepared. I also like taking pictures of things, so I'm going to select a camera, or represent photography. And since I'm using my own iPad, I'm going to go through here and choose one of my photos that I've taken. This is a photo from my trip to Washington, D.C. in 2012. And I really like this shot of the Lincoln Memorial. So I'm going to go ahead and place it right here in the center, make my UNT symbol a little bit smaller, and then kind of stagger my photos that way. Now I've filled up my canvas here pretty well, but I want to continue with my presentation. So all I'll do is I'll go to the bottom corner of the canvas and hit the right arrow, and I'll have a new canvas. I can change the background of this canvas if I wanted to. I could select something like lined paper. If I want to write a composition on here, maybe write a poem, I can choose graph paper. If I wanted to graph something, or maybe just kind of show, if I wanted to use this during a number sense lesson, or showing how to add up decimals or subtract with decimals, that might be a great feature to have. Or I could also do a coordinate grid. Now, one of the things that I do with my students on the first day of school is I have them write down 4 numbers that represent something about who they are. You'll be doing this activity later on in this lesson, so here's an example of what you'll have. I'm just going to write down a couple of different numbers on here. And when I narrate my lesson, I'm going to explain what these numbers represent. And I'm pretty much happy with my canvas here, so I'll go back to the very first slide. Everything is still there. And now I'm ready to narrate my screencast. So the beauty about Educreations is that you can prepare your slides beforehand and you can narrate them later, or you can narrate and create at the same time. And I'll show you what I mean by narrate and create. So we'll start recording by hitting the record button. Hello, my name is Mr. Villegas, and I'm your 5th grade bilingual teacher. I have been teaching at TJ Lee for a while now, and I want to tell you a little bit about who I am and what I do. I went to the University of North Texas in Denton, Texas, and I earned my degree in sociology. Some of my hobbies are cooking, and I also enjoy taking pictures with my camera. Last summer, I went to Washington, D.C., and I took a bunch of pictures there that I'll be showing you throughout the year. But this is my favorite picture from there. It's a picture of the Lincoln Memorial at night. The Lincoln Memorial has always been a very special place to me, and I've always enjoyed visiting it. So it's one of my favorite places to see in D.C. when I'm in town. Now, I want to give you a couple of numbers that tell you a little bit about who I am. Those numbers are 35, 4, 1977, and 2. The first number is 35. That is how old I am. The second number is 4. I've been a teacher for 4 years. And next I have 2. I have 2 dogs. Their names are Riley and Max. And I was born in 1977. And if you're really good at math, you could figure out that my age is actually 35 because we subtract 1977 from the year 2013, and that gives us 36, but I haven't had a birthday yet, so I'm still 35. So now I want to show you some of the things that you'll be doing in math in 5th grade. We'll be working on problems like adding fractions, such as 3/4 and 2/3, and we'll work on how to find common denominators for these fractions so that we can add them. We'll also be working on something called prime factorization, which is where we take a number, like 36, and we figure out how to get to 36 by multiplying nothing but prime numbers. So we'll actually break this number down and find the multiples that give us 36. So for example, we have 4 times 9. We know that 4 is not a prime number because we can multiply 2 times 2 to get to 4. But we can't multiply anything else by 2 to get to 2, so that is a prime number, and we circle that. We know that 9 is not a prime number because we can multiply 3 times 3 to get to 9. 3 is a prime number, so we're done, and we write 36 in prime factorization form by writing 2 times 2 times 3 times 3, and that gives us 36. And you'll learn how to do that later on this year as we go through our math lessons. So that's a bit about who I am, and now I'm going to ask you guys to do the same and show me who you are. So as you can see, I have finished recording my lesson. The next thing I'll do is save my lesson, and I'll title this Mr. Villegas Intro. If you want to write a description about your lesson for others to see what it was about, you could, but you can also leave it blank. I want to make this lesson available to the public because I'll be sending it by link through my online blog. And now my lesson is saved. And as you can see, I do use Educreations a lot within my classroom, especially in math, but it can be used for reading, for social studies, for a variety of reasons. If I wanted to share my lesson, all I would do is hit the share button at the top right-hand corner. I would select the lesson that I wanted to share, and I would choose the option. I can post this to Facebook, I can post a link to Twitter, I can email a link, or I can copy the link and paste it at a different place. I also have the option of copying the code that will embed the presentation within my website or my blog. So if you have an online blog or a website, you can actually copy the code and embed the code so it displays automatically. I'm going to copy the lesson link, so I'll be using that link a little bit later. And then I'm done. And that is an overview of Educreations.